Just a few days ago, a lot of people around the world were celebrating Easter, the death of Jesus Christ. So as a lot of people were celebrating, so were the politicians of South Africa, and one in particular, Floyd Shibambu. Well, I'm singling out the name of Floyd Shibambu because his visit was very controversial. Of all the churches or institutions that many were celebrating, Floyd decided that I'm going to take a trip to Malawi and celebrate with Shepherd Bushiri, a fugitive, a wanted man for money laundering and other crimes, that he escaped South Africa, well, through means that we could not explain because of the corruptness of the government. So this is a wanted man that Floyd decided that of all the institutions, I am going to celebrate with Shepherd Bushiri. Well, I'm doing this video because there is a comment from the EFF side. Floyd is a former member of the Economic Freedom Fighters, so it's only fitting to look at this video again. If you look back, when the backlash against Floyd Shibambu started, instead of going and saying and trying to explain and saying that, well, it was nothing more and I apologize, the man went on to X by saying, "Thank you, my brother, Prophet Bushiri, for hosting us, for the kind words. The government scale amount of work you do to economically, educationally, socially, and spiritually uplift our people is unparalleled now and in history. I know that the leadership and people of Malawi appreciate and cherish the so many massive programs you do for the people on the ground. Continue doing the good work. The book says, kindness to the poor is a loan to the Lord, and he will repay the lender. God bless." I mean, really, Floyd Shibambu, a Secretary General in South African politics, the Umkhonto weSizwe Party, going to visit a fugitive, and instead of maybe saying I apologize, he goes on to further add on the madness of him going to visit this guy. I mean, you could say that, well, there's nothing more to it. But the very interesting part is that just few hours after Floyd Shibambu sent out this post, the Umkhonto weSizwe responded by distancing themselves from their SG, the Secretary General of the party, the engine of the MK party. The statement said that the MK party wishes to categorically distance itself from the recent visit by our SG to the Enlightened Christian Gathering ECG, church led by the self-proclaimed prophet Shepherd Bushiri in Malawi. The MK party upholds the rule of law and maintains a zero-tolerance stance on criminality in all forms. When in an unprecedented case, President Zuma was sent to prison without trial under Roman law, he did not flee from justice but was incarcerated and served his time. Even though it was a miscarriage of justice and a violation of his human rights, we remain firmly opposed to any association with individuals who are fugitives from justice. Our values are rooted in integrity, justice, and accountability, and we reject any actions that compromise the reputation and the ethical standing of our movement, which is the MK party. So I had to give you that background in order to go to the statement or the article by the EFF Rebecca Mhlala on this matter of Floyd Shibambu and Bushiri. So basically, the Central Command Team member of the Economic Freedom Fighters decided to write an article which was published by the official account of the EFF, really having a go at Floyd Shibambu and Shepherd Bushiri. Well, it is very interesting because the same Floyd that now EFF is responding to was the member of the Economic Freedom Fighters. So, just to do a summary, the article says that this visit to Bushiri was evidently not part of a legal or political intervention. Photographs were posted on public platforms offering flattering commentary on a man who has yet to answer for the serious crimes laid before him in a court of law. This was not a lapse in judgment. It was a deliberate and reckless act of political performance that sought to sanitize a fugitive and cloak the evasion of justice in legitimacy. Some have sought to deflect criticism by implying that other leaders perhaps even from the business elite or political class, may have visited Bushiri. However, as of now, there is no confirmed list or record of any high-ranking individual, politician or otherwise, who has visited Bushiri publicly, taken photos with him, or offered him praise while he remains a wanted man. The article is rather long, but its main objective is to have a go at Floyd Shibambu and his action by visiting a fugitive who is wanted by the South African criminal justice. There's been a lot of talk on social media, especially about the fact that Floyd is not the only one who should be looked at in terms of visiting Bushiri. People are saying that, well, Julius Malema is one of those people who has been in support of Shepherd Bushiri. And also, he at one point visited Bushiri and took a picture with Floyd. They were visiting Bushiri. So people are saying, you must not only look at Floyd, you must also look at hypocritical politicians like Julius Malema, who was a supporter of Shepherd Bushiri. So to be fair, one really has to be neutral in this whole issue. I mean, you look at the fact that we are calling out Floyd Shibambu for his actions, and there are people who are saying that, wait a minute, you must not only focus on Floyd, because at one point there were tweets of Julius Malema who was in support of Bushiri. And also, there is a picture of him and Floyd Shibambu visiting Bushiri, taking a picture together. So this is an issue of politicians supporting people like Bushiri. So if one comes and says that, well, wait a minute, you are saying Floyd, but Julius did the same, I am not going to say, well, you are wrong, because he's definitely right, as you can see with evidence that at one point Julius was in support. The difference in these circumstances is that this is 2025 and Floyd decided to go to Bushiri after the government declared that he's a wanted man. Other things that occurred was before he was declared a wanted man. But as soon as charges were laid against him, Floyd was the man who went to visit him. And a very interesting leader that we need to look at is the fact that Ndlozi just a few days ago, I mean less than a month, he was in Malawi lecturing, and at one point he decided to speak about Bushiri and his crimes.
One here in Malawi who is wanted in South Africa. I'm going to ask the minister to help me go past that house of that person and just tell him, there are questions for you there in South Africa that you must come answer. Whether you are a pastor or a politician, you don't have the right to steal from the poor. Not in the name of God, not in the name of our people.
In closing, I am really going to say that the move by Floyd Shibambu was very stupid and a political suicide, especially the fact that in the MK party, you are a target. At each and everything you do, they are looking at you. I mean, you look at the fact that that statement distancing themselves from Floyd Shibambu's actions was written by Nhlamulo Ndlela. You go deeper, you might find that Duduzile Zuma is part of that statement that is distancing themselves from the actions of Floyd Shibambu. You need to be clever when you are maneuvering in this thing of being hated and wanting to be a leader. I mean, now, if we are going to take three people, Julius Malema, Floyd Shibambu, and Dr. Ndlozi, and say that these three people, one at one point was in defense of Prophet Bushiri, which is Julius Malema. One recently went to celebrate Easter with him when he was officially declared a fugitive. The other one decided to go to Malawi and speak against Bushiri. Now, if you take all these three and say, choose one leader that you can really say that he stands by his word, I am going to pick Dr. Ndlozi, because this man, Dr. Ndlozi, has always stood by his truth.